2023 school year in review. Graduation is always such a special occasion because it signals a culmination of years of hard work for teachers, students, and their families. It showcases the achievements of goals and successes attained. In highlighting the road we all traveled in the 2022-2023 school year, we do so with the theme, Unsurpassed, Soaring to New Horizons. To highlight our year's achievement, Mr. Hansel Palmer, Mrs. Dawn Wade Green, Miss Dacia South, and Audrey Samuels will present the 2022-2023 school year in review. The 2022-2023 school year, the first full academic one since the COVID-19 pandemic, rolled back the curtains on September 5, 2022. We welcomed 80 students in the infant department and 418 in the primary department. Our academic staff was 25 strong, headed by Principal Dr. Samuels and Acting Vice Principal Ms. Dacia South. The administrative and ancillary staffs complemented the team with 15 members. Mrs. Brown, Vice Principal, proceeded on 8 months vacation leave and would soon be followed by Mrs. Jasmine South Mattis on pre-retirement leave. Mrs. Jasmine South Mattis was replaced by Ms. Shanique Allen, who joined the staff on September 17, 2022. Our staff also saw an addition in the form of Mrs. Cheryl Powell Spencer, Vice Mr. Lindsay, who resigned. Later in the year, February 2023, we received Miss Nadine Walters, who joined the staff and was deployed to the infant department, Vice Miss Cyril Downer, who resigned. Unfortunately though, one of our teachers, Mrs. Sonia Brooks McDonald, who was ailing, succumbed to her illness on April 19, 2023. Mrs. Brooks McDonald was a stalwart member of the team who was noted for her exceptional ability to deliver the grade 1 curriculum. She will always be remembered for her vivacious spirit, her beautiful smile, her dancing and dramatizing skills, and the way she presented the curriculum with vigor, vibes, and energy. Rest well, Mrs. McDonald. Your legacy lives on. Board of Management. Our Board of Management was installed on January 1, 2023. The newly minted board is headed by Mrs. Dana Brown Dawson, Chairman, Mr. Desmond Smith, Council Nominee, Reverend Al-J. Diaz, Community Representative, Dr. Samuels, Principal, Ms. Kadeen Ferron, Staff Representative, and Ms. Shereen Peters, Parent Teachers Association Representative. We said goodbye to Bishop Markel Wright and Miss Unique Daly and thanked them for their 3 years of sterling service to our noble institution. As we journeyed on in the year, a number of activities coincided with teaching and learning. We now highlight some of these. Our guidance program was alive and well this year and produced many impactful activities for parents, students, and the community at large. Parents' Month celebration saw parents being observed on November 24, 2022, and guided by the national theme, Reigniting the Village. There were over 120 parents in attendance, and they were feted to lively entertainment, refreshment, special presentations, and display and parents' cards. Some parents were recipients of special incentives. The activities also showcased the parents, a card door display, and the class winners received books for their library. Also featured under the guidance program this year was Career Awareness Week. Our students got a peek into the future when the National Career Awareness Week was observed between February 4 and 10, 2023. Members of the school community, including Bishop Dr. Owen Reed, Reverend Al-J. Diaz, and other presenters interacted with the students throughout the week based on the theme, Conquer Your Future Through Career Development. Children's Empowerment Day and Jamaica Moves were 2 other activities undertaken by the Guidance Department this year. On May 5, 2023, we observed Children's Empowerment Day. Our students were treated to a live band performance by the Jamaica Constabulary Force Band, led by Superintendent McCarthy. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, in association with the Ministry of Education, invited schools to participate in the National School Moves Day. Laurierville was not to be left out, and so again on May 5, we engaged our students and staff in movement activities in rhythm to music and games. The activities were led by some students, Mr. Palmer and Mrs. Thompson. Gender Day and Play Day. Gender Day and Play Day were also featured this year under the guidance program and were observed on May 31, 2023 under the theme Everybody Matters, celebrating gender roles. Nurse Wright Hay, past Vice Principal Mrs. J. Eccleston, Mrs. D. All Mendez, Mrs. A. Smith, and Mrs. Cunningham engaged the students from the infant department through to grade 6 as they made presentations on the theme. The students were attentive and enjoyed the interactions. Mrs. Marcia Clark, our guidance counselor, and the guidance committee spearheaded all the guidance activities and deserve commendations for a job well done. Parents, please. In our efforts to support our parents and equip them with certain skills, the Parents Place was also reactivated and over 40 parents accessed training on March 2, May 4, May 25, and June 29 in the areas of effective parenting, budgeting, and planning for the school year ahead. Mr. Thompson led the Parents Place initiative. Now let's take a look as Mr. Palmer shares highlights of some cultural activities, including Heritage Day and Carol Service.
Report of the cultural activities at Laurierville Primary and Junior High School for the 2022-2023 school year. The first term saw the school participating in the launch of the Universal Service Fund Community Wi-Fi in Lime Tree, where Ajada Nicole performed the poem Wi-Fi the Lime Tree for free. She earned an encore standing ovation and was presented with a small monetary incentive from the councillor for the Laurierville Division, Mr. Desmond Smith. The MP, Mrs. Marissa Dalrymple Filbert, took a copy of the poem and read from it during her presentation. We celebrated Heritage Day in October, and our Heritage group, which at that point consisted of students from grade 5, performed 2 pieces, a play and a poem about George William Gordon. Different grades performed pieces about the rest of the national heroes. The heroes were also highlighted in displays mounted by the different grades. In Christmas, we had our choral service under the theme, Sharing the Spirit of Love, Peace, and Goodwill through the season. The cultural group performed a poem entitled Samuel Sharp. Each grade performed an item in keeping with the Christmas spirit.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. We will now hop over to Mrs. Dawn Green, who will present on the 4-H activities for the year.
The key role of the 4-H Club is getting our students involved and for them to receive a sequence of learning experiences through hands-on activities. This school year, the clubites and coaches met every Wednesday afternoon at 2:30 p.m. for club meeting. The clubites were coached by teachers at the different grade levels. The coaches are Mrs. Smith at the infant department, Mrs. Rowe Wilson, grades 1 to 3, and Mrs. Brown Bennett, grades 4 to 6. For project work this year, the clubites planted corn seeds, but due to the extensive drought, they did not germinate. 2 of our clubites also participated in the electronically generated poster and art presentation competitions based off the theme Eat Smart, Grow Smart, Youth Responding to Food Security. The electronically generated poster was created by Raymond E. Campbell of grade 6 for the age category 9 to 12 years. She was coached by Mrs. Brown Bennett. The art presentation was done by Alex Hughes of grade 1 for the age category 5 to 8 years. He was coached by Mrs. Rowe Wilson. On the 16th of March 2023, 10 clubites along with myself and Mrs. Roe Wilson attended the 4-H Achievement Day Expo at the First Hill All-Age School in Trelawney. There, our clubites competed with all the primary schools in the parish. After the judging of the various presentations, both students were awarded second place for their entries. The elated students were awarded trophies for their placement and congratulated for a job well done. Thank you, Mrs. Roe Wilson and Mrs. Brown Bennett, for the able way in which you have coached the clubites and for placing this noble institution in the spotlight once again.
Thank you, Mrs. Green. And now we invite Ms. Dacia South to share how the school participated in the National Mathematics Olympiad competition headed by UA and the National Mathematics Week.
Mathematics Olympiad. 20 students entered the Mathematics Olympiad hosted by the Mathematics Department of the University of the West Indies, Mona. From the island-wide representation of approximately 6,000 students who entered the preliminary round, 5 of our students, Sharif Blake, Amelia Copeland, Matthew Codlin, Abigail Davis, and Rowan Hines, emerged as finalists and participated on March 15, 2023. National Math Week. National Maths Week was observed March 26 to 31, 2023, and the Low River Primary and Junior High School was determined not to be left behind. Under the theme, Reigniting the Math Flame, Light Up Your World, students were engaged daily. On Monday, they had fun generating and responding to math riddles. Tuesday saw them making various 2- and 3-dimensional models. Additionally, 20 students attended the Regional Expo in St. Anne. The displays, showcased by RADA, the Maritime Institute, and the Jamaica Defense Force, exposed them to maths in the real-world context. Wednesday's math game sessions really had them reigniting the math flame. On Thursday, students immersed in problem-solving activities. A math session was also convened at the Parent Teachers Association meeting, and parents were allowed to see that math indeed is not as challenging as they thought. The grand culmination of the week's activity was held on Friday, where the display was mounted and students were also given the opportunity to wear their favorite math strand. It was refreshing to see them and to hear them explaining the various strands.
Thank you, Ms. South. Labor Day. Labor Day was observed on May 23, 2023. The event was supported by over 30 school family members, parents, and community members who joined hands in labor to pave the driveway and paint the auditorium. It was a successful venture which saw 1/3 of the driveway resurfaced. Another third of the corridor was done by the Men's Empowerment Group on June 24, 2023. I now invite again Mr. Palmer to share the report on JCDC and the Trelawney Parish Council ODPEM Earthquake Awareness Poetry Competition. Mr. Palmer.
In March, Arishka Lawrence, Tiana Anderson, Lotta Neil Powell, and Javier Linton represented the school in the inaugural Trelawney Parish Council ODPEM Earthquake Awareness Poetry Competition. They emerged winners for the piece entitled Drop, Cover, Hold. In term 2, we went in festival mode, preparing for the JCDC Festival of the Performing Arts. The group was joined by a trio from grade 3, and Tonique Gray, Leona Bailey, and Dawanique Mullins. Phaedra Thompson and Amanda Renee represented grade 4. The group from grade 5 consisted of Jada Nicole, Nastasia Hutchinson, Sable Joy Cunningham, Chardonnay Peart, Rohan Hines, Tiana Anderson, Santoya Beckford, Arishka Lawrence, Alicia Kohal, Daviana Smith, Alexia Salke, Sajo Powell, Devoy Beckford, Dejanay Jones, Omaria Brown, Joseph Samuel, Dimitri Francis, Nathaniel Powell, Javier Linton, and Chardonnay Hutchinson. The grade 3 students got a merit award for their rendition of the original poem Granny Nanny. The grade 5 got one for their rendition of the original poem Samuel Sharp. His poems were written by Raspada Aisha. The grade 5 group won a bronze medal for their rendition of the original song Paul Bogle. The grade 4 song Break Every Chain was performed by Phaedra Thompson in the qualifiers, but was performed by Amanda Renee in the finals and won a merit award. Mr. Nigel Simpson provided musical accompaniment for the songs. Mr. Ansel Palmer minded a silver for his original poem Tactical, Technical, Tenacious, Tacky, and Mistress Powell, who coached both songs, minded gold for her masterful rendition of the song Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Her item also advanced to the national finals in Kingston, where she represented the parish of Trelawney. In February, we had our Jamaica Day celebration with the team celebrating Jamaica from the root to the fruit, where all the pieces going to the JCDC competition was showcased to the school. Displays were mounted showcasing the various ethnic groups and their contribution to our rich cultural heritage. May 25th was celebrated as Africa Day nationwide, and we were not to be left out. At Lower River, we focused on Ghana and mounted a display showcasing aspects of their culture. The day was filled with fashion, flair, and excitement, and saw students and teachers being clad in their African attire and sporting afros, cane rows, Nubian knots, and other African-centered hairstyles. This was the culmination of a year packed with activities celebrating and showcasing aspects of our rich cultural heritage.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. TVJ's Quest for Quiz. Television Jamaica invited our school to participate in its annual Quest for Quiz competition and to take the place of a school that declined its invitation. On May 8, 2023, 6 students who were selected to represent the team traveled to the studios of TVJ to play their match. The students are Santoya Beckford, Akelia Williams, Catalina McLaughlin, Sable Joy Cunningham, Abigail Davis, and Ajada Nicole. The students were trained by Mrs. Cheryl Powell Spencer, Miss Shanique Allen, and Dr. Samuels. Miss Dacia South and Miss Allen accompanied the students to their match against Lowell Prep. The students, although they did not win their match, gained exposure and improved on their academics and self-confidence. Miss Dacia South will now once again join us for a report on the National Reading Competition and the Students' Welfare Program.
National Reading Competition. We accepted the invitation to participate in the Jamaica Library Services National Reading Competition. 16 students entered 2 categories in the preliminary round. Leona Bailey from the 9 to 11 age group category and Kessia Rowe, as well as Joshua Hall from the 12 to 14 age group, advanced to the parish finals and sat the test on Friday, June 30, 2023. We await those results and hope for the best. We're delighted that we were able to expose our students in this way. Student Welfare Program. The adage, empty bag can't stand up, remains true. Consequently, we activated the Student Welfare Program and were able to provide balanced meals for a daily average of 12 students. The period March to May saw 230 students being fed at a cost of $63,000. The aim is to extend the program to include items of clothing and other things that our students stand in need of.
Thank you, Ms. South. Now we'll go back to Mr. Palmer, who will join us one more time for an overview of the year in sports.
At sporting activities at the Lower River Primary and Junior High School for the school year 2022-2023. The competitions started in September with the houses trying to exceed each other in Friday morning attendance. Freighter House came out on top in this count-off. In second term, we had our sport days for the infant department as well as for the primary department, as well as our road race. Freighter House relegated Bolt and Campbell to second and third position in both the infant competition and the primary competition. Ajada Nicol and Kamari Dona came out on top of the girl and boy road race competition respectively, with Santaya Beckford and Latoniel Powell for the girls and Daniel Walker and Kaminar Harrison for the boys getting the second and third places respectively. These students also dominated in the 1200 meters and 800 meters race. Some of the stars emerged from our sports days and went on to represent the school at the JTA Upper Chilani District Association meet held in Sherrard. These were Phaedra Thompson and Akim Samuda, who won the Class 4 100 meter and 200 meter boys and girls race. Nastasia Young, who won the Class 3 100 meters and 400 meters race. Jamarli Mackenzie, who won the Class 5 150 meters, and Rahim Leng, who won the 400 meters. Our next stop was the JTA Parish Association meet held at the William Need Memorial High School in Falmouth. Jenny Mullins dominated the girls' shot put competition. Nastasia Young won Class 3 100 meter and 400 meter and was named the Class 3 champion girl and earned the favor of scouts from Edwin Allen, who, after contacting her parents, offered her a sports scholarship to attend their noble institution. Jamarli Mackenzie won the Class 5 150 meter. Rahim Leng again did well in the 400 meter. Ajida Nicol dominated the 1200 and 800 meters. Now, 5 of our students advanced to the JTA Sagicor Athletic Championships held in the National Stadium in Kingston. These were Ajada Nicol, Jenny Mullins, Jamarli Mackenzie, Nastasia Young, and Phaedra Thompson. They all did well, but failed to earn any of the coveted medals, excepting for Phaedra Thompson, who ran a pivoting leg in the Class 4 4x100 meters girls relay, turning the race around and putting her team in pole position to go on and earn the much needed gold medal for her parish. This was the climax of an exciting year of sporting activities at the Lower River Primary and Junior High School.
Thank you again, Mr. Palmer. Academic performance. Our students did not sit the 2021 PEP4 examination because of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, in 2022, 81 students of the graduating class sat the PEP5 examination. These are the results. In mathematics, 1 student was deemed highly proficient, 21 proficient, 24 developing, and 35 beginning. In science, 8 students were deemed highly proficient, 27 proficient, 18 developing, and 28 at the beginning level. In language arts, 3 students were highly proficient, 27 proficient, 20 developing, and 31 beginning. And in social studies, 6 students were highly proficient, 27 at the proficient level, 14 at the developing level, and 34 at the beginning level. The top student for the PEP 5 language arts is Adra K. Williams, who was highly proficient. The top mathematics student is Kessia Rowe, who is also highly proficient. The top social studies student is also Kessia Rowe, who is highly proficient, and the top science student is Diane Campbell. The top PEP 5 student is Kessia Rowe, who was highly proficient in 3 subjects and proficient in 1, and who received the highest placement score. In 2023, 82 students sat the PEP 6 component of the examination. The students did an amazing job, and 52% of them from the graduating class were deemed to be in Pathway 1, 37% of them in Pathway 2, and 11% of them in Pathway 3. The students were also categorized according to proficiency levels. These are the results. In mathematics, 1% of the students were deemed highly proficient, 45% proficient, 48% at the developing level, and 6% at the beginning level. In science, 3% of the students were deemed highly proficient, 50% proficient, 45% developing, and 2% beginning. In language arts, 1% of the students were deemed highly proficient, 48% at the proficient level, 39% developing, and 12% beginning. And in social studies, 56% of the students were deemed proficient, 39% at the developing level, and 5% at the beginning level. No student was deemed highly proficient. Our students were placed at the following 14 schools: Bishop Gibson High, 2, Alphonsus Davis High, 20, Alberton High School, 13, Homewood Technical High School, 13, Christiana High School, 15, Troy High School, 7, Knox College High School, 4, Bel-Air High School, 3, Alston High School, 2, William Knibb High School, 2, Belfield High School, 1, Manchester High School, 1, the Carteret College, 1, and Edwin Allen, 1. The top highly proficient math student for 2023 is Adra K. Williams, who was placed at the Carteret College High School. The top highly proficient science student is Cosmira Hurdick, who was placed at Manchester High School. The top highly proficient language arts student is Diana Campbell, who is placed at Christiana High School. And the top proficient student in social studies is Joshua Hall, who is placed at Knox College High School. Our top PEP 6 student is Adra K. Williams, who received the highest placement score. She also received the highest score in the ability test. Our students attained remarkable heights, and we are so proud of their achievements. They encountered the COVID-19 trials and tribulations along the way, but they marched on, unsurpassed, came out strong, and are ready for new horizons. Henry Ford said, "Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success." As we looked back over the last year, certainly there was a beginning. There was also tremendous progress, and yes, undeniably, we have been successful. On behalf of the Year in Review production team, Mr. Palmer, Miss Daisy South, Mrs. Dawn Waite Green, and yours truly, thank you for watching, and see you next year.